That is the tradition of Ohio, and it is the tradition of the Ohio State University.
President Michael Drake addresses the university.
The bad news is that the trial was postponed and he's not released yet.
An OSU alum is still imprisoned.
And we've got some scandalous pictures to show you.
That's all right here on Buckeye News Now.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ariana Bernard.
And I'm Chelsea Spears, in for Ritika Shah. You're watching Buckeye News Now. On Thursday afternoon, OSU President Michael Drake gave his first university address during a university senate meeting. Lantern TV was at the union for the address. Here's what he had to say.
My job as president is to support our faculty and our staff in their efforts to create the best possible learning environment and learning outcomes for our students, and the most impactful and meaningful research and creative activities for our broader world. 11 major public research universities make up the University Innovation Alliance, which is working collectively to develop an innovative playbook to retain and graduate more students, particularly low-income and first-generation students. The Alliance will first examine predictive analytics to determine how we can make students more successful. And while we want to do this for all of our students, our Center for Higher Education Enterprise, in conjunction with our Office of Institutional Research and Planning, will use data analytics to focus on the success rate of students in all of our campuses, and particularly our regional campuses, and those students who change to the Columbus campus. With this information, we hope to identify and develop programs and support students to help all of our students increase their completion rates and enhance their academic experience. We would like to help the ease transition from high school to college and from college to the real world. At the same time, we want to work to help keep the cost of higher education affordable. This eases the burden for students and families, and is really critical for people to be able to enter the world and really make use of all the things that we have taught them. Well, for the first 4 months, I have spent much of my time listening and learning to all of you and to many others. And in this way, you're the teachers and I am the student. I'm grateful for your insights and for your dedication to this extraordinary university. Our vision to continue our ascendancy among leading land-grant universities will require our very best selves. And we need to work together in the coming weeks and months to refine our mission of what it means to be the exemplar of a land-grant university in the 21st century. At Ohio State, we're moving from the status quo to sustainable, from cancer to a cure, and from outstanding to exemplary. That is the tradition of Ohio, and it is the tradition of the Ohio State University. And that is how we, together, will continue to change the world. Thank you.
After former band director Jonathan Waters filed a $1 million lawsuit against Ohio State in September, the university has decided to fire back. Last week, the university released a statement listing specific examples of a sexualized culture within the band that they say Waters helped foster. One of these examples was a calendar from 2007. On the front of the calendar reads, "For John Waters' eyes only." And the following photos show mostly naked male marching band members posing in the calendar with nothing but instruments to cover themselves. One of the authors of the calendar said it was meant to be satirical and point out the ridiculousness of male calendars in general.
In politics, Ohio is known for being a battleground state. But according to a recent study that ranked all 50 states according to their political engagement levels, Ohio falls right in the middle. Senior Lantern TV reporter Melissa Prax has the story.
With Ohio being a battleground state, you would think that the political interest would be so much higher than the other states.
According to a recent study by Wallet Hub, Ohio isn't a politically interested state, ranking 34th overall. Undergraduate Student Government Deputy Director of Public Relations said young people may be to blame.
The greatest amount of voter apathy comes from members of our generation, and I think a lot of that has to do with people in politics not being able to reach our generation, not being able to relate to us.
The study looked at both recent midterm and presidential elections. More than 45% of 18 to 24-year-olds in Ohio did vote in 2012. Gill said this could be due to campaign strategy.
I think we definitely saw that with President Obama's campaign back in 2008 and again in 2012, where he reached out to the millennial generation through social networking.
Some students said studying in college could be why voter turnout has been on the decline.
Like, I know the issues and I know what's out there. It just push came to shove, and it was just one thing I didn't get to. So.
Boutry said he thinks there is interest among himself and peers, but voting isn't a priority.
It might just come down to like college students are in the grind. They're really trying to get their degree. They're focused on their studies. They're focused on themselves, trying to build their futures. So I can understand why maybe it just slipped up. Maybe they just, like I said, they forgot to like register or something.
The study did find that voters that make less money are less likely to vote. Melissa Prax, Lantern TV.
In light of the recent Ebola outbreak, some students at Ohio State have come together to launch Buckeyes Against Ebola, a public awareness campaign to arm young people with facts about Ebola and inspire them to get involved in this global fight. Besides increasing awareness, students are also collecting medical supplies and financial donations to help people in West Africa fight the virus.
I think it's definitely we have the ability to make a difference here, even though the disease, in theory, it's far away enough. I think it's our responsibility as people to help the people who are in need. So you can educate yourself. You make sure you know of the disease, how it's spread, and how the people are living with the disease.
Together with Partners in Health, Buckeyes Against Ebola were lighting up Mirror Lake Wednesday night with a candlelight vigil, honoring the victims who lost their lives to Ebola.
It was just a candlelight vigil to celebrate the people who have lived through Ebola and celebrate life, but also remember the people who have passed away from the disease.
Well, last week we brought you an update on Mohamed Soltan, a dual American-Egyptian citizen who graduated from Ohio State in 2012. He's been on a hunger strike since he was shot in the arm and arrested just over a year ago for participating in a Muslim Brotherhood protest. That protest happened in Cairo after a military coup overthrew former President Mohamed Morsi. Soltan continues to fight for his release with a more than 250-day fast. Soltan was supposed to appear in court on October 22nd, but the trial has been pushed back to November 5th. Since our update last week, the U.S. government has filed a request on Soltan's behalf to request that he be released from prison for health reasons. The court denied this request, stating that Soltan's hunger strike is a lie and that he is medically healthy.
But we are happy that the government finally did take a stand with Egypt, and that shows that the message that's been coming from human rights activists, from lawyers, from organizations like Amnesty, that message is carried through to the government of the United States. So that's a good thing.
A study is revealing some new information about student debt. The study published by Gallup found that Black students are more likely to graduate with debt than white students. The study took a survey and asked grads if they were more than $25,000 in debt. 50% of Black graduates said that they had more than $25,000 in student loans, as opposed to only 34% of white grads. The study also found that overall, more Black than white students graduate with any amount of student loan debts. Exploring the night through cycling.
And pop sensations to perform at the shoe.
All that and more when we return.
Riding bikes, exploring the night, and expecting the unexpected. That's what Monday Night Rides is all about. The organization is for people who want to ride their bikes around Columbus on, what else, Monday nights. They meet right out front of the Wexner Center for the Arts at 10 p.m. each week. The rides vary in length, but the night always ends with free pizza at the Highbeck Tavern. This past Monday, the group participated in a Halloween costume bike ride, and Lantern TV was there to catch them in action.
Some people play tennis, some people play pool, some people bowls. I mean, for me, it's always been cycling. It's a compulsion, it's a passion, it's a way of life, it's a philosophy. It's just a group of people getting together and being social, having a good time, and enjoying cycling.
Hold on to your seats, One Direction fans. The British boy band is set to perform at Ohio Stadium on August 18th of 2015 as part of their On the Road Again tour announced last week. The shoe is currently the only college-exclusive stadium booked on the One Direction's tour. The venue is set to host 62,000 for the concert despite its capacity of nearly 105,000 people, given that areas behind the stage will not be ticketed. Pre-sale begins on October 31st and general sale starts on November 1st. Prices range from $57.85 to $123.25. But how did students at Ohio State react to the tour announcement?
I was really excited because I'm a big fan, and I just saw them in concert in August, so I was surprised that they were already going on tour again.
I don't really listen to their music, but I think it'll be cool to bring in all the revenue. It'll be good publicity for the university at least. I mean, having a big event like that, a lot of people listen to them, so I'm sure all the publicity and all the money it'll bring in will be good.
After After reaching almost 80 degrees on Monday, temperatures plummeted as a cold front moved through Tuesday afternoon.
The past couple of days have been hitting temperatures in the 50s, and our meteorologist John Bangoff is here to tell us whether we can expect these cooler temperatures to stay. John?
Ariana and Chelsea, much cooler weather in store for the weekend, but today not quite as bad. 53 degrees is our eventual high this afternoon for your Thursday. The sun's going to peek through the clouds at times, but after that sun sets, temperatures are going to drop off significantly. The winds are going to begin to pick up as we head into your day on Friday. For Halloween, a low of 40 to start out the day. By the afternoon, we'll get only up to about 48 degrees. I do expect some scattered showers as we move through the afternoon. When you combine the wind, the rain, and the cool temperatures, it's going to be a downright miserable Halloween evening. But as we head into your day on Saturday, here's the big thing we're going to be talking about. 32 degrees to start the morning. When we look at those cool temperatures and the moisture that we have, that's going to add up to the potential for our first snow of the season. I don't expect anything to stick to the ground with how warm it has been, but nonetheless, the first snow flurries of this fall season. As we head into your Saturday afternoon, we get up to only about 43 degrees for game time as Ohio State hosts the Fighting Illini. I expect it to be about 35 degrees at kickoff, dropping through the 30s by the end of the game. Wind chills going to be down in the 20s, so make sure you bundle up your hats, your gloves, your scarves. All the layers are going to be very necessary for the game on Saturday. For the day on Sunday, we start out at a very chilly 26 degrees, get all the way up to 45 degrees Sunday afternoon. One thing I do want to mention, make sure you set your clocks back 1 hour before you go to bed Saturday night, 1 extra hour of sleep. So Sunday should be a pretty nice afternoon. We're going to have some partly sunny skies, the sun will peek out. And then for the day on Monday, we'll drop down to an eventual low of 32 degrees, but then by afternoon, warmer, a little bit warmer, 54 degrees. Guys, hopefully this cool weather will just be here for the weekend. We'll be able to warm up just a little bit again next week. I'm meteorologist John Bangoff. Back to you guys in the studio.
Buckeyes battle with blood.
And Ohio State set to face Illinois on Saturday.
All that and more next on Buckeye News Now. Football is not the only rivalry between Ohio State and Michigan. Since 1982, students and fans of both schools have battled to take top honors during the annual Ohio State-Michigan blood battle with the American Red Cross. Lantern TV reporter Eric Weitz has more on what you can expect to see when the contest begins on November 1st.
The annual Ohio State-Michigan game is a major event in Columbus, and in the week leading up to the big game, Buckeye spirit is in full force on campus. But for some OSU students, the competition between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines kicks off several weeks earlier with the American Red Cross blood battle. Starting November 1st, the Red Cross will kick off the 33rd year of the nearly month-long donation campaign, which uses the rivalry to boost blood donations.
Really, it just started as a friendly competition between these two universities, and it's also a great opportunity for us to boost the blood supply during the holiday months, November and December, when collections are usually pretty low.
Thousands of pints of blood are collected each year during the event. This year, the Red Cross will try to collect over 2,500 donations from Ohio State alone by holding dozens of blood drives across campus in the weeks leading up to game day.
Throughout the year, there may be 20 to 30 blood drives per each month that happen on campus, and all OSU students kind of see them going around campus. But this sort of sense of competition and the presence of all the blood drives on campus makes it that much more of a big deal for students to kind of get involved and participate to help out the American Red Cross and the cause to be Michigan.
Students interested in donating can either schedule a time with the Red Cross or can simply walk in during any of the blood drives. The winning school will be announced at Ohio Stadium during the game on November 29th. For Lantern TV, I'm Eric Weitz.
Well, in case you missed it, the university is implementing a new process to let football season ticket holders choose their seats in the shoe. But if you're a student ticket holder, this shouldn't affect your seats. The idea is for specific ticket holders within a donor priority system to improve their seating location. These people are members of the Buckeye Club, President's Club, or Varsity O, or just long-term ticket buyers, according to the Columbus Dispatch. The only change will be their ability to pick specific seats rather than just request seats in a general area. The distribution method for student tickets will not change.
Last week, the Buckeyes kept fans on the edge of their seats by going into double overtime. Head coach Meyer spoke to the media about how the team is preparing to make this Saturday's game less stressful as they take on Illinois in a battle over the Illy Buck Trophy. Our assistant sports director, Aaron Urian, was at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center to give you the story.
With last week's double overtime thriller and this week's first college football playoff rankings behind them, Coach Urban Meyer and the Ohio State Buckeyes look to collect some hardware this weekend in the form of the Illy Buck Trophy as the Buckeyes head back into primetime against the Illini.
the ultimate objective is to be competing for championships in November. And you look on the calendar, that's really close to now. So we had a little extra motivation for Wednesday practice in late October. So I just talk about those kind of things.
Yeah.
MCL is not an uncommon injury.
Right.
It's a non-surgical. It's the medial collateral ligament that, once again, the severity, I just do what they say. You know, halftime they said he got an MCL sprain, and I said, how bad? And they said, well, we'll see how he goes. And I think a lot of it's, everybody's built different, I guess, but that's, once again, I'm not a doctor. The issue is not talent at Illinois. So they have guys that can play, and you can see that on videotape. So we hadn't had to do much this week.
I knew that I could take a drop, I can run. So it was just one of those things like, hey man, if you play, you play. It's not like you go on there half stepping, because if so, then the team could use a Cardell Jones that could go.
And I think this is a big week for us against a team that's coming in with some momentum after their win against Minnesota, to kind of get some of our momentum back. Because even though we gutted one out, and I don't want to devalue winning that game, but to just get some momentum back and get clicking again.
This Saturday's game is scheduled to kick off at 8 p.m. against Illinois. Until next time, for Lantern TV, I'm Aaron Yerian.
That's all the time we have for you this week on Buckeye News Now.
Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.